What's up, zookeepers, and thanks for joining us today. We are joined again today by the beautiful and brilliant Shalane. Say what's up.
What's up?
We certainly appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedules to do life with us, even if just for a little bit. But before we jump into today's fun, I just want to ask that you check out our sponsors, BetterHelp Online Therapy, and now Audible and Amazon. For more information on either, check out the Feenstra Zoo's Instagram or Facebook group. Or if it's easier for you, just message me and I'm happy to get back to you as soon as possible. Anyway, let's get into the good stuff. How about starting with a Jeff Bethke quote?
Sounds good to me.
He said, "The most beautiful people we have known are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, and they have found their way out of the depths. These persons have an appreciation and a sensitivity and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep, loving concern." Yeah. Let me ask you this, babe. Have you had an easy life? Has everything gone your way?
I want to say, in the grand scheme of things, I feel like, yes, I've had a relatively easy life. But, no, things have not gone my way.
I know, a little bit of a loaded question. Like, of course, no. No one is going to look at you in the eye and honestly say, yeah, I've totally had a story without conflict or struggle or anything. My life is smooth sailing always. No one's ever going to say that. And
just about my life or in general? Because that felt like a little bit of a judgmental comment there.
I had intended about their own stories, but, you know. No, and honestly, I don't think life is supposed to be easy.
No.
The best books you've ever read, they're about struggle and conflict and strife, and the best stories always are. They're about some journey with ups and downs, and
yeah, exactly.
Right? And I guess my main point about everything here is that, like, we can't control everything in our life, and I dare to say that we can control far less than we even think we do. But when you understand that your life has struggles, you can choose how you react to them. So before I get too far in here, I would like to start with your thoughts, if that's all right, about when hardships or struggles or whatever comes into your life. Do you have any advice or specific steps that you take to get through whatever's going on?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is, nah.
Why don't you explain that one for a second?
Which is just a almost lifelong running inside joke with me and my grandparents that has slowly been resurfacing as we've gone through just so much in our life and household lately. But essentially, I don't stress about things. And when I do, it's for such a small period of time until I literally just, it doesn't matter, just meh. I let it go. So, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Fair enough.
And then I forget the real question again.
Do you have any advice that, comes to mind if someone's going through hardship and they come talk to you? Like, do you have any, like, sage wisdom that you'd share with them?
Not in, like, a blanket sense, right? It's not one of those things where it's like, if someone were to come to me, this is what I would say. But if someone were to come to me with XYZ problem, usually I'm the first person to find some sort of something, like I sympathize, and then I find something positive about that situation to try and bring that situation so it doesn't stay so down.
Okay. So it's finding the silver lining in anything and trying to shift to a positive mindset.
100%.
Yeah. So for for me, when I was going through and writing this, is kind of the same thing. It's, we know problems are going to happen and we can't control them. But if we shift our perspective, we can glide through life with a little more grace. Not easy, not stress-free, but with grace.
Yep.
So we know there's going to be problems, but it's okay. We'll get through.
Of course.
And I think this one universal thing that we can all agree on is life is hard.
Yes.
Adulting is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think it's fair to say that we all want a better, or at least a different life than we currently have.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Because we're always striving for something.
Right? For me, we're right on the edge of that lifestyle that I want for our family. But the danger or a problem with chasing this, is that we can shift. Something shifts in our mindset that it's almost more like chasing a checklist than it is chasing that dream or wanting to truly benefit our family's life.
Yeah.
And I think the reason this is so dangerous is because we end up, like I said, we focus on that checklist and life just happens around us and we end up missing the good for the stresses of achieving that list. So in the battle of life at this point, I'm just trying not to miss the goodness of each day.
Oh, for sure.
I really want to bring the best version of myself to each day. But as, I don't know, my personality type, and I'm sure there's some deep-seated something that several years of therapy would bring out, but it's I know I walk this super fine line. Because I need goals, I need aspirations, I need some upward trajectory to set my sights on.
But how do you not just go through the motions of it being a checklist?
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally get that. I struggle with that also.
I think the best example of this is I struggle with not being a careerist person, where that's maybe not the right word, a workaholic, maybe.
Okay.
Simplified. It's really easy for me in whatever I'm doing to just get so single-minded, wanting to climb this ladder, wanting to build on whatever I do. And I mean, it's fair, it takes up the lion's share of my day. It's 10 hours plus a day easy that I'm work focused.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for me, it's hard not to just make that my sole focus and be there's this ladder, I can see it, it's direct trajectory, it's upward momentum, knowing that climbing that ladder will better our family. But I miss the forest for the trees kind of thing,
Yeah, I think also it's realizing there can be a ladder in front of you, but that doesn't mean that you can just climb it.
Right.
Right? So then that's frustrating then too, because you can see the ladder and you know it's there, but you sometimes just can't do anything about it. So I think that's also something that, needs to be reminded of to bring you back down to present.
Yeah.
Rung.
And that's what my wife is for.
Knocking down a couple pigs.
Exactly. I think the nice way to say that is keeping me humble.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is guys, it's okay. It's good to dream. It's good to have aspirations. But don't just chase the achievements that you've chosen for yourself. Allow yourself some grace. Allow some room for interpretation on the day-to-day, right?
Yes.
Now, when you do choose a trajectory for your life and what lifestyle you want, you need to be prepared to adopt the whole lifestyle in the package as well. Because, let me put this in computer terms. Okay, the whole program needs to be designed properly for the results you want out of it. Right? If you've chosen the lifestyle of an elite runner, is something we've talked about before. If you choose the lifestyle of an elite runner, you need to have proper diet, proper hydration, as well as like squared out so many hours during the week to actively run, plus the budget for proper shoes and apparel, and inevitably the race entry fees and travel expenses to get to said races. And I mean, I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff in this list, but you have to adopt the whole lifestyle to get the results you want.
Can't just one day decide I'm going to be a runner and do it.
Not really. I mean, you can. Like, you wake up one morning and be like, I'm going to run today. Great, you're a runner. Like, so long as you actually go for a run, great, you're a runner. But it doesn't put you on the same level, right? Like, you're not an Olympian because you ran 3 blocks.
Because that's as far as I'd get.
I mean, the point is the same for any chosen lifestyle, right? You know, you want to be a super humble person who's incredibly generous with both time and money and everything. Like, it. Yes, you can just make the choice and make steps. And something that's kind of been my theme song lately is, start where you are, not where you want to be. But someone who's high stress and like is super anxious and doesn't have a lot of margin in their life, both time or money, can't just decide to be a super humble person, super giving person, super whatever. You have to make steps. You have to design your life to get those results. So here's the rub on all of that. Like, choosing one path means you have to say no to many other paths or lifestyles.
Can't just do it all.
Exactly. Yet another hardship of adulting. Okay. Society says we need to do and see and watch and experience everything, read everything, old books, new books. We need to do all of this to be happy. And this, fortunately, is just a blatant lie, because there's no way we can do it all, read it all, see it all. And honestly, that's not how we find happiness.
No, gosh, that sounds like a stressful
right?
checklist.
Right, but it's easy to forget, and that's what society tells us, though, is like we need to be, do, see, love everything at all to find happiness. It's just not possible.
No, not even a little.
I did a couple episodes a long time ago about accepting your limitations, and I think we should revisit that, but it's just a lie of society, right? Like, this isn't possible, and it's far more stressful than any joy you might find in moments of it. Like, have you seen Netflix's catalog lately? Let alone Amazon?
No, I only see the 7 things that I watch on it.
Right. Like, it's way too much. I mean, YouTube alone is currently uploading, was it 1 billion hours every day to its website?
Good golly. Like, how do you can't watch all that. It's impossible.
You can't. Even if you're to watch 10 screens on fast forward, you still wouldn't get through a whole day in a whole day
of new content.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just not possible. That's, I'm going to put my notes down for a second, because this is something I think needs to be focused on for a minute, is chasing a lie will never give you happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, life is hard enough without trying to conform to someone else's standards.
Yep. For sure.
Right? Like, I scroll through Instagram far more than I should. And all I see is this curated snippet of people's lives and I catch myself all the time going, I wish I had that. I would be happy if I had that.
Mm. Yeah.
Right? Like, and it's not even, I mean, it is also stuff, but it's like that picture of a plane wing over somewhere tropical.
Right.
Like, man, I'd be happy if I was there today. I mean, yeah, I probably would, because, yes, please. But there's a distinct difference between joy and a moment of happiness.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think also, so all the comparison too, right? All the social media and all the shows and content and anything, it's a playground for fostering the mentality of comparison.
Yeah.
Which is a huge Satan's playground.
Yeah. Yeah. Compare my everyday, or even worse, compare my worst days to the curated
Someone's social media content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, for all you know, took them 100 hours to get that 1 minute 30-second reel.
Right.
Because they too were having a bad day.
Right. Like, at the time of recording this, which is a bit before I'll be releasing it, like,
it's because we're on the ball right now, guys.
whew, it's the past couple weeks have been really hard for all of us, but for me especially in our construction zone of a home.
Mm-hmm.
And perspective shift, it's not that bad. But I'm in a good mindset right now, so it's easy to say it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a tough go for the past couple weeks, because again, adulting is hard and I want everything to be done right now, because that's, I'm a fix-it personality, and it's not possible in our stage of life to get everything done right now, right this second. But it just boils down to, yeah, I've had a rough go at this, but what's the perspective shift? Right? What do I have to do to get from where I am to where I want to be?
Well, right now we have to wait for contractors to come into our house.
Exactly. So it's nothing I can do with my own hands to make this better. And learning to accept that. And learning that, I just have to be patient. And that's tough for me.
Yeah.
But it's that perspective shift that has to happen so I can find my place of joy again. Which we're working on, and it's getting there. But I mean, it seems silly to be complaining to a microphone that life is hard, and here's why. Because it's such a first world problem that, it's just my reality right now. But grand scheme, like, we're 1% of 1% of the world's wealth because we have a roof over our heads, food in our stomachs, and some technology in front of us. Like,
right.
And that's not to belittle wherever you're at, right? Like, that's not to say, like, your problems aren't valid, because right now you could be facing insurmountable odds, and it's the worst you've ever been, and whatever. Like, you have to be okay with where your emotions are at and work from where you are.
Mm-hmm.
But working from where you are, you can still shift your perspective and, like you said, find that silver lining. Like, for me, that's knowing that this will get solved, and it will get probably a little worse before it gets better.
It will get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, we're in construction. That's just how these things work. But
we have a house.
We have a house, and it will get better.
Yep.
And in some instances, that's all we can do is just look that there is an end to this tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
There is a way out of this hole. It might be hard. It might be slow going. You might be where you're at for a while, but it will get better.
For sure.
Kind of does bring us back to perspective, though. Like, setting your own life trajectory. You know, decide what is important to you. You know, as 30-something adults, you know, we've done dream boarding, we've done life planning, 1 year, 5 year, 10-year trajectory speculating as a couple, you know, but decide what's important to you. Set those goals. Adopt whatever necessary lifestyle you need to achieve those goals. You know, make a game plan.
Yep.
Was it the difference between dreams and goals is a strategy to get there? There was a motivational poster that I saw back in high school or something like that.
I like that. I was thinking of the one where it's like, you are where you wanted to be 5 years ago, or something like that.
That's another good one. You know, a big one for us was allow room in your life for interruptions.
Yes.
You know, be okay with taking a loss, because that's how we learn.
Well, and it may originally seem like a loss, but it could be, you know, that friend that stopped by for coffee that, oh shoot, I didn't get a bunch of stuff done, but that friend needed to stop by for a cup of coffee, or didn't get XYZ done, but we did this instead, and that was a core memory, or, right, there's so many things. If you just leave that margin there and kind of roll with the punches, usually it's for the better.
Right. That's why my next point is give yourself grace.
Oh, you're so good at reminding me to do that, because I am terrible for that.
What do we stop there for a second? What does that mean to you? Give yourself grace.
When you remind me to give myself grace, it allows me to remind myself that it's okay to not do everything that I wanted to do. It gives me a moment to be like, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to do this instead of that, or to pick and choose. Like, it literally for me is just that reminder that, like, I don't have to be all together, all encompassing on all day.
Right. So if I'm speaking to your life, correct me if I'm wrong here for a minute. Okay, so at basically the beginning of every day, you set a to-do list and you usually text it to me, which is awesome because I enjoy being kept up to date.
Yeah, because it keeps me accountable to actually, it keeps me accountable.
Yeah, and I like being in the loop because I miss my family oodles when I'm working all day. So, and usually around, I don't know, 2:00. Okay, probably a couple times in the morning, a couple times in the afternoon, I get an update to the list. So like, this is what I've done, this is what I haven't done. And it's usually about that 2:00 reminder that it's like, okay, I don't have time for, like, you know, the third load of laundry or whatever extra chores or whatever room didn't get done today. And I just send a quick message, something along the lines of, you know, that's okay. Like, give yourself grace. You don't have to do it all every day.
Yeah.
So it's like, just like speaking into that, you know, you're right, you didn't get the bedroom clean, but you did read for 30 minutes or whatever, and like gave yourself some room to breathe. So like giving yourself grace is just like that extra room for some mental health boost during the day.
Yeah, exactly. Or even just so like we were gone, I guess 2 weeks ago on Sunday now. It was like a later night and a busier day, and we had come off of, or that was like smack dab in the middle of like 2 weeks straight of just like ongoing. I just remember like I had slept in that Monday morning, and I remember waking up to a message just being like, it's okay to just give yourself grace today, slow down, take that recoup time. And sometimes it's just like that reminder, right? Especially as like, I think especially as like a stay-at-home mom / homeschool mom / whatever hat I have on at that given time. Because I can totally get caught up in those lists. But on the flip side, I need that motivation of those lists.
Yeah. So it's just other words for is like just leave yourself margin, leave yourself room for interruption, leave yourself the ability to change your daily game plan, because life happens and it's not clean all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Another, we already touched on this, is like, stop comparing yourself to others. Your story is different than everyone else's, and you should celebrate this, not be upset that your life doesn't have the same mile markers as whoever it is online.
Exactly.
Like, we touched on this already, but it's so big. There's no reason to make your life harder because your story doesn't line up with whatever influencers you follow.
Yep.
I guess the point with all of these that I'm trying to make is your view or your perspective on life is uniquely yours. Own it. And when life gets tough, only you can decide how the story continues.
Hear, hear.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would want to drill down on from this list? Anything that came to mind outside this list?
No, I liked where you, I liked where this went.
Yeah, it's just, I know I kind of put a rude title on this episode, just life's hard, get a helmet. And largely, yeah, like sometimes you just gotta have thick skin when life gets tough.
Mm-hmm.
But like I just said, like only you can decide how your story continues.
And you're not alone with it. Like, it's okay, go have a cup of coffee with a friend.
Yeah.
Process it however you need to process it, right? Because usually give it a little bit of time and a deep breath, and it's usually not quite as bad. As at least you originally were thinking.
Yeah, even as an introvert, someone who, like, I process stress especially internally. I don't want to say bottle it up because I don't, but I think through every process, every option, every potential decision, especially when I'm stressed. I work it all through internally, and then I only talk to Shalane about a handful of things that really stress me out.
I think, though, I think you do bottle it up, but 10 years of me asking you to extrovert your thinking has, like, slowly gotten to the point where you subconsciously recognize
it. I definitely, over the past 10 years, I recognize that externally processing with my wife has been extremely beneficial to my mental health. Like, I'm a huge supporter of therapy. I'm a huge supporter of seeking out wise counsel. Like these are all really good things, and it just goes against my personality to do so. But there is so much value in finding even just a friend, like you said, go have coffee with, and just, like, this is what's going on. And even if you're not looking for solutions, just like putting what's bugging you out on the table,
yeah,
it helps so much. Just to, like, even if it's just like an hour of a word vomit of what's going on, it helps.
Oh, it totally does.
So I think that's where I'll leave it. I think that's a good place to leave this episode.
I feel like this is not a closed-ended topic, so
you kind of just have to... There's no close to this topic. There's always something. It's like we know life is hard. And if you've got no one else to reach out to, send me a message on the zoo. I'll respond, I promise. But there's a lot of great professional places you can go to if you truly need help. And I guess, shameless plug, BetterHelp Online Therapy is there in a million different ways. And I've got discount codes and stuff I can throw your way. But if you just need to, like, word vomit and you got nowhere else to send that message, send it to me. I'll make sure that I touch back for you, and I'm always here to pray for you. And with that, guys, we're just going to close this down. Don't forget to share the zoo with your friends and family, or social media. It helps so much to get the titles out there, and increased listenership makes it easier for people to find on every platform, whether it be YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're getting your episodes. And if you really like what we do here, maybe consider the one-time donation over at buymeacoffee.com. Or if you're looking for more great shows, check out the Podbelly Network. Thrilled to be affiliated with them. And finally, check out our sponsors, BetterHelp Online Therapy and Audible. Links are all going to be in the show description down below. This is the Feenstra Zoo. We're happy you came. You're awesome. God bless.